Hey guys, how are you? Thank you for clicking onto this video and please subscribe. Let's get the numbers up, guys. Let's get the numbers up. It's motivating to see the numbers up. Makes you wanna put a bit more effort into doing some research into things because you know it's getting to the people. And for me, like I make this video not to make people happy and not to make everyone agree with me. Actually, I want you to disagree with me and give me the reasons why. We can have a long discussion in the comment section. I'm always willing to reply. And I'm not one of those people like people get angry and stuff. No, we should allow ourselves uh, agree to disagree. And that's okay. After that, we go sit down and have a beer together. I don't drink beer, maybe have a coffee together. It shouldn't be like, oh, yeah, I hate this person. We gotta move past that. That's for young people, man. I'm too old for that stuff. Anyway, so what's happening out there in South Africa? You know, President Trump has granted white South African refugee status. White South Africans only refugee status, and black people are not happy. They believe it's unfair. I don't know why black people think that's unfair. A white man trying to put his people first is unfair. I don't understand that. Like, how is that unfair? No, it's not. Everyone else would do the same thing, guys. An Indian person will put Indians first. It even gets to the tribal level. You go to African politics, you find out like a president from a certain particular area, when he becomes president, most of them just develop that particular area. That's it. No, they don't even develop it, but they'll put a road there from where they come from. The rest, stuff yourself. So this is not surprising, guys. This is something about us. I think we have so much hope and we've given these people so much respect that we want things to be fair. It will never be fair, guys. Life is not supposed to be easy. Life is not supposed to be fair. This is how I know, man. I watched the video of a little baby, I think it was a little baby giraffe. This thing just got born. Upon arriving on Earth, he got attacked. It was probably on Earth for maybe few minutes. Got attacked. I think it was a tiger. This thing tumbled into a river. The tiger waited for it. 2 seconds later, the tiger was on its neck, dead. It was only on Earth for a few minutes. That's how life is supposed to. That's life, guys. It's harsh. People love their people more. The question we gotta ask ourselves is, do black people love each other? And if they don't, the problem is on black people, not him. Him is doing the right thing for his people. I guarantee you, even these people who you guys get along with, these whites, deep down, they still like the guy. Because you know what? Because they know no matter what, he's got their back. They can chat with you and feel your pain and all that stuff, but they still like the guy because he's got their back. And that's how it should be. Look at Traore. I like Traore. Ibrahim Traore. He's got our back. He's putting us first. We have to stop this mentality of trying to think these people have our best interest at heart. No, they don't. No, they don't. Let's go to America. Excuse me. A lot of people that have heard about the what happened to Black Wall Street. It got bombed. That's not the only thing that happened. So many towns in America got either people shot. There's a place called Lake Lanier where the lake is. There used to be a black neighborhood there. They were all attacked, shot for something they didn't even do. There's a guy called John Africa. Look him up. He started a movement of trying to it's more like, what do you call it? The Hamish people of America. He started a movement like that where he wanted black people to go back to the land, grow their own food, just create their own society. And guess what? The police of Philadelphia bombed him. Like they literally dropped a bomb on his house. They killed him and his 5 children and I think 6 other people. And they allowed the fire from the bomb to run through all the other houses. They did not go there to try to put the fire out. They let it run through all the houses, bomb them. That's how this world works, guys. One thing. First of all, let me even say this: the people are going, the white Afrikaners going to South Africa right now. They are not the farmers. The farmers in South Africa are rich. The South African government has great deals with China. They are supplying China with all sorts of stuff. And also you got a lot of even the shops. There's a shop called ShopRite that's owned by white South Africans. Mines are owned by white South Africans. The rich South Africans don't want to leave South Africa. Trust me. Their life there is so much better than anywhere else in the world. Those guys, their families, their wives don't have to do nothing. They got people, they got house help, people polishing their floor, people cutting their trees. They don't do nothing, no manual work, man. They're not going to leave that because they're not going to get that in the US. The people who are leaving South Africa, they are the poor white South Africans. Majority of them are poor white South Africans. And the reason why, it's because now the sort of ground has been leveled. There's no one is better and everyone is facing the same issues that even the black people are facing. No one is getting favored. And that's usually what happens when you level the ground. A lot of people, it doesn't matter what race you are, life gets tough. So Trump's thinking is, what, we're white, we've conquered the world. Why would I let us to go and live like a third world place? It's not happening. So I'm going to go and get my people. And I'm going to tell the South African government, let my people go. Yeah, he did it. We can't do that, guys. We can't. So I reckon a lot of black people are just jealous that it's not them. Stop worrying about these people, guys. How many times does someone need to show you that they don't give a crap about you? Here's the problem I have personally. I have a problem with the South African government. But South Africa right now should be beaming with developments, with businesses booming. They're like leading into Africa, buying mines and then developing them and stuff like that. But they haven't. They don't have a plan. They don't have a 30-year plan. They don't have a 60-year plan. There's just no plan. Because even this thing where they like to say, oh, let's get the farmland. Good idea. But what I'll do, there will be a plan. If that was me, first of all, I'll invest. And this is the part. It's not South Africa. It's not just the South African government. I think this is across Africa. Governments struggle to invest in specific things, in their people. So I would create, and we'll get a piece of land because there's some land in South Africa which is still available. We'll get a piece of land and we'll start educating people. We start educating people about farming, and the people who come out on top are the ones who are going to get the land. And they don't get the land straight away. There will be like a half house where it's a farm and we let you run it for a little bit. See how you're going. You learn how to do things. You can't just get the land and give it to people who've never farmed before. You can't do that. There's a way Africans farm. We don't farm at a commercial level where it's like, oh, we gotta export the food. People farm. I don't know if you can watch Watamaya in Namibia. He goes to this village. They got plenty of food. I think the morning time they had like white watermelon or something, and all they did was just go to their like garden. So they've got food, and then in the storage area they had all this sorghum for the year till the next season. So they got enough food, but we've never been a people who farm mass farming to export. We've never been that. In some parts of Africa, people have. I'm not going to say we've never, sorry for using that word, but some parts of Africa, people have done that before. I know Dangote's father used to sell groundnuts to the whole of Africa. I think so. You know, but in general, we haven't developed that sort of farming. We used to farm before, and the community puts their food together, and it used to be enough until the next season. You know, it wasn't about, oh, we farm and we sell to, everyone else had land and they were farming pretty much the same thing. Everyone had food. So you farm what you can farm. If it's looking after cattle, and you go and hunt. So however, we have to learn the commercial side of farming. And this is why I'll put up very strict, because the whole goal will be like, once you are given that land, we want you, if you was producing, I want you to start producing 10 times whatever I was producing before. That's what I'll do. I'll be very, very specific, strategic, and intentional. The South African government hasn't done that. They haven't put money into the education of their kids, of their children, of their youths. They haven't put education into the army. The army, I don't know if you saw recently, you can Google it. A couple of soldiers, South African soldiers, died, I think, in Congo. And when they were receiving them, they're getting them from these planes and stuff, the guys couldn't even march properly. That was embarrassing. But that's what happens when you don't invest into these things. We haven't understood, guys. If you want to understand why people, and I'm going to give everyone, this is a homework for all of you. If you want to understand why people, try to understand the Roman Empire. That's it. That's it. And I'll encourage every black African president to do the same. If you want to understand white people, go back and read everything about the Roman Empire. There was a question, I think, that was posed to most men of us in the West about what's the one thing they think about. You know what the answer was? The Roman Empire. Majority of white people fantasize about the Roman Empire. And it goes on to, even when you look at some point, New York looked like one of those Roman cities. They fantasize about that. It's like a guiding light. You gotta conquer the world. That's how they think. So the South African government, I think, has let its people down, if you ask me. And it's embarrassing what's happening there right now. Like, the black politicians don't get along. They just don't. It's always, I find this very interesting across Africa, because for me, what I'll do is I'll get the opposition, myself, say there's something bigger here. Imagine white people almost started fighting each other in South Africa. But that was not going to help, in Africa. The French, the Belgians, the English, and the Spanish, they almost started killing each other over there. And then they realized that was not going to help anybody. So why don't we sit down and divide this thing? Because it's so big. You control this, you control that, you control that. And everyone is happy. We are here getting fat, making the money. Why is that so hard for these black politicians to do that? Where they just sit down together, whether you're in opposition or whatever, let me know your ideas. I'll tell you my ideas, or you already know my ideas. Let's see how we can work together. And then at least let's make sure that we work on this together. And then the other stuff there, let's fight over it. That's okay. The problem we have in Africa, we have politicians who are willing to even delete the opposition because they just don't want them. They just want everything to themselves. Me. We're not going to go anywhere. This is our future. Or everyone else, the Chinese is going to look after the Chinese. The Koreans going to look after the Koreans. The Japanese will look after the Japanese. That's just the way things are. What we should be doing is try to have some power on this planet to look after ourselves, because no one is coming to take us. That's why in America, African American all sorts of things can happen to them. No African country is going to say, oh, we're coming to take our people. No, because we don't have the strength. So what Trump is doing, for me, I just think there's nothing wrong with that. You got to put your people first. And the moment black people anywhere in the world, the Caribbeans in Africa, the moment we realize this, that we actually, in this world, you got to put your people first. That's why there's NATO. Why do you think there's NATO? Same people working together. And you can say, oh, it's against this, like Russia, who are pretty much also white. Yeah. But at least, because even Russia has a better chance. It's only that, they have this history friction. It's deeper than we actually think. But they would rather have Russia be involved with them than with the other group, to be honest. Even Russia right now are just they have no choice but to connect themselves to China because everyone else is trying to attack them. But guys, we have to put ourselves first, and we have to make sure we make sure that our leaders are accountable. Because here's what happened. Do you think Nigerians voted for Tinubu? No, they didn't. The American government gave the Electoral Commission of Nigeria $50 million. Why do you think they did that? Do you think they wanted to help them have free and fair elections? Hell no. No. They wanted them to rig those elections. Because guess what? They want you to keep you poor. As long as you are poor, you keep praying to a white Jesus or some white Muslim or something, or Muslim or something. You keep worshiping them because they've made us believe we need them. And that's our biggest mistake. Let him take them. But the thing is, the onus is on South African government. They need to do something because this is the country. This is South Africa. I've always said this for 20 years. I've said this. This is South Africa. He has the power to dip on this side and be the most developed country in the world, or dip on this side and be like every other country in Africa. And I think they're tipping this way. They're tipping the wrong way. And this is something we have to look ourselves in the eye and say this is wrong. What I don't understand is, why is it so hard for African government to fight crime within their own countries? Boko Haram in Nigeria, it's been killing little kids and little women, young ladies, and all that stuff for so many years. Why you can't fight them? You can't get rid of that? No. Doesn't matter. Oh, the outsiders are doing no. You develop a stronger army, so even the outsiders are scared. Guys, if you want peace, you gotta deserve it. And the only way you deserve peace is by having a strong army. That's it. If the Congolese government had a strong army, Congo would do so well right now. But they don't. They are willing to give up their land to the Chinese. Now I think the president was begging Mr. Trump to invest in there. It's ridiculous. And something also we gotta worry about. This guy, Elon Musk, is a danger actually to black people. It's so dangerous that I watched an interview of this Paul Tudor Jones. Paul Tudor Jones is a rich guy. He's a billionaire. Made a lot of money on Wall Street. You can look him up. His recent interview, he said he was in this special meeting where all these, the who's who of the world, in the science world, in the AI world, and they said AI has the potential to delete half the population of this world. Think about that. AI has a potential, and they don't know if they can prevent that, because the competition is so strong right now. Like if you put up so many restrictions on one side, you don't know what sort of restrictions the other side has on it. So if the other side doesn't have restrictions, which means they'll develop something more dangerous than what you are developing. So now it's about who's going to develop the most dangerous AI. So all bets are off. There's nothing like, oh, we're going to restrict it. There's nothing. It's not going to be like that. All bets, people can't trust each other anymore. So what's going to happen is, and in Africa, we are doing nothing. And everyone wants that continent. Think of it. 10 years from now, they make all these robots and just drop them on the African continent. And the instruction is kill anything and everything that's black. What are we going to do? We start praying. You think Jesus will show up to help us? I've never seen that happen. And I'm a historian. I've studied history of us. I've never seen him show up. But that story is for other days. And this is why we have to think global. We've never actually, okay, here's the thing. According to these anthropologists, that's what they're called. Okay, people out of Africa, They went, we messed around with everything that was there, Neanderthals, Denisovans, and all over the world, and created what we have today. What I find crazy is that so we go out and create these people, and these people come back and beat us at everything. The chicks came back home to roost. Literally. We need to start to think of how we can dominate the world again. If we've done it before, we need to start thinking of how we can do it. If we can't dominate the world, at least let's make Africa proud. Let's do something in Africa that everybody can look at and say, you guys did something. Because I tell you what, I think in the near future you have to prove your existence. One thing I've found out that we are not the first people, we are not the first beings to be on this planet. There's been so many people, or not people, whatever, beings before us. I know history, they say 6,000 years in Sumeria or something like that. But, if this planet has been around for billions of years and it's got 4 more billion to go, there's been a lot of things here. There's been a lot of beings who've lived there and they've all been wiped out. But also the other thing is you have to also realize that, Denisovans don't exist anymore. We have some people have their DNA. Neanderthals don't exist anymore. Some people have their DNA. If we ain't careful, it could be us. If we keep going on the path that we are going, putting our faith in other people and not standing up for ourselves, we are in big trouble. Because this AI thing, I know most of you only know ChatGPT, but I tell you what, Elon Musk was using Grok. If you don't know Grok, look it up. It's like ChatGPT, but it's owned by Elon Musk. And he was sending all these messages about the genocide in South Africa for people that didn't even ask for it. And that's how they are going to spread this misinformation. And guess what? They'll keep at it until it starts to make like it's real. Because people are gullible. People start to believe, oh, this is real. And before you know it, America is invading South Africa. And that's their plan. Remember this video when that happened? South African government need to get serious. That government need to get serious. You can't just go trying to be, oh, I'm a member of BRICS. Do I want us to create a Russia in Africa? No, I don't want to. That's for the Russians. If anything, I'd like to create a society like the US, where it's the rule of law. Like the US used to be, not right now, but the way like it used to be. The foundation that it has of we the people. That's the sort of country I would like to create. I don't want to create a country like Russia where it's only one person. I don't want to create even a country like China where you're just worshiping your leader. I don't want to do that. I'd rather create a country like Australia, like the US, the way it used to be. Not right now. That's a better country to me with principles and ideals and departments that are. I know the US has had so many issues, especially with treatment of black people, but at the end of the day, they've gotten things. Eventually, they've gotten things right. To me, that's a better country than Russia, where it's only one person and whatever that person says goes. And if you disagree with him tomorrow, you're not going to see the sun. I don't want a country like that. And I don't want to copy ideas from a country like that. That doesn't mean they are our enemies. No. We can go there and be part of BRICS, but the problem we have in Africa, and as black people, we always just want to copy what other people are doing. Because I tell you what, if I was president of South Africa, that country would be so far ahead. We'll be specific in what we do. We'll make sure that we are producing cars. We'll make sure that cars that are supplying to the rest of Africa, and we are going to make them cheaper. If they can make a car for $10,000 in China, why can't we make a car for $4,000 in South Africa and sell it to the rest of Africa? Make a reliable, nice car for cheap and sell it to the rest of Africa. You have all the roads are good. You have almost everything that you need to create industries that can transform Africa. That should have been their agenda. But the problem is they're struggling to do it. Like most African leaders, they struggle because they follow a blueprint they copied from colonialism. Which is why today, if a white person goes to South Africa, they can open up, not just South Africa, pretty much anywhere in Africa, they can open up a business and get 5 years tax free. If I try to do the same thing, even in my own country, they'll punish me. The moment I don't make one payment, the court bailiff show up, close my shop, take everything. Because this is what used to happen in colonial days. Because they used to advertise to encourage other people from Europe and to come to Africa, and they'll give them all these free land, tax-free zones and all those and all those things. Whereas the local people were stopped from getting ahead. And that's what pretty much these guys, inherited, and they've used that to suppress their own people. I don't know if it's subconsciously or if they actually know what they're doing. So at some point, we just have to leave these people alone, guys. Let them be, let them do their own thing. But let's look in the mirror, and let's say we need to do something about this. What this man is doing is no crime. He's putting his people first. And that's how it should be. I have no problem with what this man is doing. If he puts his people first, let him put his people first. America is not a black country. I know you guys are going to say, oh, black people built that. That story is for other days, man. I watched a movie called Troy. And in that movie, there's Agamemnon. This is a long time ago. It's one of my favorite movies. Brad Pitt and the Aussie guy, what's his name? David Banner, I think. Agamemnon once said something. I think it was Agamemnon or the actor representing Agamemnon said something where he said that, history doesn't remember soldiers, they remember kings. So if you are building something as a worker or as a slave, no one is going to remember. It's not you. It's the guy who had the idea to do that and then use you to build it. That's what they remember, because it was his idea. So America, to me, is not a black country. It's a white country. And we're gonna put white people first. I saw this guy, an Asian guy, do an interview with a white guy, and the white guy was very honest. And he said they didn't want to lose their country. They didn't fight for everything they did to give the country to the Chinese or to the blacks or to whoever. That's their country. The problem we have, guys, is we don't want to develop our own country. Let's develop something that we can call ours. This is ours. And South Africa could be that country. South Africa need to stop trying to make all the BRICS and whatever happy. Be a leader in Africa and start developing things in that can feed the rest of Africa. But they don't want that. They don't want that. Start making better deals with the rest of the world. And this goes to all African leaders. Stop trying to act like kids, because that's what these people think. If you saw Ruto with Biden in those, Ruto trying to, even sitting on and they're just laughing. No, go there and mean business. I don't want to sit in a chair, sir. You can just say, nah, man, no, Mr. President, that's your chair. I got my own chair in Kenya. You sitting there, I'll be here as your guest and let's talk business. That's it. You gotta be intentional. It's all these politics, guys. It's a game. It's a mind game. If you see all the tariffs that's going on right now, that's a mind game. It's trying to get a better deal. I don't think our leaders go to some of these places with getting a better deal in their minds. They don't. They go in there trying to just get whatever they get. This is why I think I'm not the only one. I think most African people will agree with me that some of these guys, man, some of the deals they get, you just wonder what they were thinking. Many years ago, there was a video on YouTube, I think they deleted it, of an Indian guy who managed to buy, a business guy. I think the company is called Vendetta or something like that. They're still mining. They're still mining in Zambia. And he bought a mining company for $18 million. And within 18 months, this company made him $500 million. And he never paid any taxes. And they paid people peanuts. 18 months, $500 million. And this is what these people do. And you know what? So when the African guy goes there, because most of these guys, instead of them doing research, we need presidents surrounded by well-educated psychologists. So before, this is what I'll do. If I was president, I would say, give me a psychological profile of the guy I'm meeting today. Months before I meet him. So I know how to attack it. I find his weak points. Because they're doing the same thing. And then the moment you are meeting, they bombast you with all this stuff. Oh, we're going to need to do this. We're going to need to do this. We're going to need to do this. And they make you feel like you desperately need these people when you don't. $18 million. Within 18 months, he had made $500 million. Let that sink in. And never paid no taxes. We'll never get respect if we are getting deals like that. No one is going to respect us. We'll never be able to say, even within Africa, people don't even want to go. Like if you go to, I think Cape Verde, there's now like a borderless Africa. But if you want to go to Cape Verde, because Cape Verde actually, they've put a bit more care into their own people. And I get it. They're trying to protect that country instead of just having all these Africans going there. So they're very strict. You gotta apply for a passport, and I get it. But we need to do something in mainland Africa, in the greater Africa. We need to start doing something there to empower our own people. And then the rules will start changing slowly. And then we can create this borderless Africa that we want. Because almost like the economies in all the countries will almost be the same. And people who have the knowledge. I think community education is what is needed. Countries where that don't have free education, they need to start finding ways to get into villages and at least teach people how to farm, make that free. Teach people how to use the internet to create employment for themselves, make that free for everybody. Start teaching entrepreneurship at 5 years old and make that free for everybody. If we don't do that, we are doomed, guys. Leave these people alone, man. Let them do their thing. They conquered the world at some point. We can say, oh, we were treated like this. That's your problem. That's not theirs. What are you going to do about it? That's the question. There's one group of people that said never again. It's unfortunate that today they're putting another group of people through what they went through, worse than what they went through, which is unfortunate. But this group said never again. When are the black people going to say never again? If these people want to go, let them go, brother. If Trump says it's white only, it is what it is. We need to start focusing on us. All right? But people are so far gone, man. So far gone. I saw a bunch of people from Burkina Faso demonstrating in France, asking the French government to get rid of Traoré. Apparently he's a dictator. That's the dumbest shit I've ever heard. But that tells you how some of our people are so far gone in their head. And that's the problem. That sort of mindset, let these people do their thing, man. That's all I'm going to say, guys. This dude is doing something for his people and let him have it. I guess they deserve it. You got to deserve it. If we want to do something better, if we want to get, I saw when the war started in Ukraine, I think Zambia and maybe even some African countries Zambia sent a plane to go and pick up all the Zambian students from there. That was amazing. Let us create an Africa that it doesn't matter where we are. If something goes wrong, if there's an attack on our people, we go there and say, come back. You don't have to be there. There's plenty of work in Africa. There's plenty of money. We got to develop that mindset, guys. We have to change how we've done things. And I reckon Trump is just a catalyst that we need, or we needed, or we didn't even know it. I knew we needed something like that. That's why I like everything this guy is doing, because he's been honest. I'd rather have him next to me because I know what he stands for, rather than have some of these Democrats that black people have been voting for in America, who've contributed to the downward spiral into which that community finds itself today. I can go on and on about this, guys, but all I'm going to say again, let this man do his thing. If he puts his people first, he puts his people first. You know, be your own president, man. Be the president of your home, of your family. Vote for yourself every 4 years, like my man Billy does. Billy Castle votes for himself and runs his own affairs, man. That's it. These guys will never do anything for us. That's just that. Forget it. No one is coming to save you guys. You look yourself in the mirror and say, no one is coming to save me. I got me, and I'm going to save myself and mine. And that's just being honest. You know, that's why I like what they've done. Sorry, I think I've gone a little bit longer than I wanted for this video. But I like what they've done in the Middle East. You can go to the Middle East. You can work there. You can do all this stuff, but you never be a citizen. For me, that's being honest. And I think Africans, we need to come to an honest realization and look at things from an honest point of view. And let's have faith more in ourselves. Let's change the way we eat, the way we treat each other. Let's love more and take care of each other. Then we might just change the future. Thanks, guys. And thank you for watching. Please share this video. Goodbye.